Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call the meeting to order at 7:01 PM. And the first item on the agenda tonight is Pledge of Allegiance. Um, I would entertain a motion for approval of the minutes of the regular meeting on June 17th. Motion made by Gary,
Second.
seconded by Brendan. Any discussion? All those in favor, please indicate by raising your hand. It's unanimous. Okay. I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the special board meeting on July 2nd, 2026.
So moved.
Motion made by Brendan,
Second.
seconded by Paula. Any discussion? All those in favor, please indicate by raising your hand. An abstention because you weren't there, right? Mark, you weren't there either. No, you didn't make it on before we ended the meeting. So do you two want to abstain then?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Now we're up for public comment. Is anybody here online or in person who would like to speak during public comment? Okay, seeing none. We're trying to keep this meeting short so that we can go into our training with the Connecticut Association of Boards of Education. This is a mandatory training for new board members that is required statutorily. And so new board members will be attending, and any other board members who have already gone through this or similar training are welcome to attend and actually encouraged to attend because it's always a good reminder. We will be adjourning at the end of this meeting into that meeting. Of course, it's open to the public if anybody physically wants to come into the room and attend the training with us. They're welcome to. I wanted to just share that we were unable to find a date that we could get all the board members in August to a retreat. So I'm searching for a September date, and I will be talking individually to board members who have not responded to me yet about your availability for a date in September. And if we can't figure that out, then we will have to schedule some special meetings and/or allot more time at our board meetings to do some of the business that we had hoped to do in a retreat. Specifically, looking at our strategic plan, which is at the end of its time, and we really do need to spend a little time digging in on that with Dr. Gamero. So hopefully we can figure out a way to get that done. The other thing I want to report is that the Board of Finance set the date for the next budget referendum, and it's September 22nd. So that is when the next bite at the apple to get the Board of Ed and the town budgets approved will be happening. And I'm going to hand it over to the superintendent.
Good evening, everyone. I just have a few updates. Even, during the summertime, this is a great time for us to take an opportunity to recharge but it's also a very busy planning season across the district. The cabinet is currently taking a look at preliminary state assessment data, and we're also planning for professional learning for the 26-27 school year. The beginning of the school year activities, new faculty orientation, leadership meetings, and everything that happens throughout the year. We want to ensure that we have a strong opening to the school year, and we want to be well planned. We're also excited to share the results of high stakes assessments once that data is shared by the Connecticut State Department of Education. And it will also help us with the development of our new district strategic plan. Also, we are in the midst of our summer school programming. It is underway for Windham Public Schools. We have about 120 students were invited to participate in the kindergarten through grade 3 program. It is taking place at Barrows with a focus on improving literacy skills. About 60 students were invited to participate in our extended school year program, or ESY, and that is also taking place at Barrows. Additionally, we have about 100 students who are participating here at Windham High School on credit recovery. And all 3 programs started on July 6th, and they run Monday through Thursdays from 8:30 to 12:30. The credit recovery program ends on July 23rd, and the K-3 NESY programs end on July 30th. And we want to give a shout out, of course, to the students who are working hard throughout the summer, but also to the staff who are working in all of these 3 programs because they are the ones who help these programs be a success. I'll stop for any questions or comments.
Does anybody have any questions? Yes, Mark.
I know last year we didn't do it. And I don't recall if we were going to do it again this year. Are we inviting other high schools or students to participate in our program? As in the past, they've come in as a tuition students. I don't know if we're doing that or not this year.
I do not believe so, no.
If that's something you would like to talk more about for future years, Mark, we can certainly bring that up at a later date. Any other questions or comments? Okay, thank you, Dr. Gamero. Is there more
My
you
only
wanna share?
other 2 mentions are tomorrow is Third Thursday, and we're planning on having a table and having a presence. Of course, we would love for the community to see us around, so this is an opportunity for us to do so. So if any of you are available, we're going to be at our usual spot. And also, as Chair Ide mentioned, the budget referendum is set for September 22nd.
Any questions? Oh, I forgot to mention that I wanted to thank, in my report, I wanted to thank almost every board member was there last week at the town meeting, the standing room only town meeting. And I just want to just acknowledge that and thank you all for being there and for the staff who came. The town meeting voted to approve the $550,000 expenditure for repair of the boilers at Natchog School. And we're moving forward with that expeditiously to get that work done. And I want to thank you all for showing up and showing out for that. Next item on the agenda are 2 committee reports, one from policy and one from school planning and design. So I'm going to kick it over to you first, Katina.
Yes, good evening, everybody. We met on July 1st. Thank you to Mr. Weathers and our secretary for getting all the materials ready. We discussed 4 policies. We're still in the revision and requesting some more information regarding the 5th disease. For the non-resident attendance, we also asked to be brought back to the Shipman and Goodwin for input. The third policy was video cameras on buses. And we deemed it appropriate to move to the August 19th board meeting for your consideration and approval, as well as animals in the classroom for the August 19th meeting. This policy is not required. Nevertheless, we have students that who might need a guiding dog or therapy dog service animals to assist them. So with all that said, that was the four meetings, policies we reviewed, and our meeting next is on August 5th.
Does anybody have any questions for Katina? So we'll look forward to seeing those policies at our August board meeting. Thank you. Brendan, on to you for school planning and design.
Thank you. We also met on July 1st. First, we discussed the recommendation for bid waivers for the work for the Natchog boiler, as well as the furniture for the Windham Middle School library project, which we then went ahead and approved at our July 2nd special meeting. After that, Mr. Harris gave us an update on facilities around, mostly cleaning and prepping for the next school year going on, as well as HVAC maintenance, trying to keep these schools that have air conditioning, keep that up and running, as well as proactive maintenance on the systems while the students aren't there, so they're ready for the next heating season. Let's see, we then went into items about the high school renovate is new, went over the few projects that we're working on there that are kind of hanging around to close out the project, where the internal facility staff is kind of acting as project manager now, even though the committee is still paying for the work. We then discussed the capital improvement projects that are on track for this summer. The track and field at the middle school are on schedule. As of the time of the meeting, the track had been paved. They were starting to apply the surfacing to it. The middle school library project, the room is being prepared by our in-house staff and is ready for the furniture to be brought in August, and that delivery has been scheduled. We then had a brief update on the proposed collaborative energy projects that we're working on with the town and Titan Energy. All of those are in progress, with EV charger stations being installed this summer, and work for solar to be installed next summer.
You were very busy at that meeting. Are there any questions? Okay, hearing none, we're going to move forward with a discussion item. You read about this in your packet, but are you coming up to talk about this? We are considering a bid waiver for Eagle Rivet Roofing having to do with North Windham School. And you might want to give us some first identify yourself for the record, and then you might want to give us some background on why we're taking this up at this point in time.
Bob Howard, Director of Facilities. So due to the heavy rain we had a couple weeks ago, 4 inches, 5 inches of rain, the roof is in very bad condition. It was actually, I think, up for a replacement a couple of years ago, so it's past end of life. But I was in the middle of getting a complete analysis of it. So I actually called the company and said, could you do a repair? And they said yes. So they just sent us this with the date of May when they had come out and actually looked at the roof. And they're going to come do a quick repair on it. Should buy us another year, hopefully, where we could obtain some money and then move forward. So, and that's it. It's needs to be done though. It's in bad shape. So that's it.
Does anybody have any questions? Yeah, go ahead, Mary.
Yeah, I know that there was a building committee actually to replace that about 6 years ago. So, and having lived through the Natchog situation years ago when they had to actually close the school for over a year because the roof repair was not done in a timely manner and it was actually dangerous, et cetera. So this is alarming to me, and I am not sure why we don't just go for the new roof. And I mean, having, deferring every single capital improvement every year results in this sort of situation where we have lots of them and we absolutely have to do them as emergencies.
I know it was like 2.3 million back then when we reviewed it. I've been going through the paperwork and I was able to obtain a quote for them for approximately 950,000. So I think we're much lower now than we were then for the same exact roof. And I believe a lot of the costs were inflated after looking at the paperwork from the last building committee. And that was due to architect costs and stuff like that. So you lose a lot when you do go out to bid because you have to pay for all the other analysis that go along with it. Which I'm not saying that's our policy and that's what we do. But and I have used this company. We used them in Stafford on 2 roofs and they did do a great job. So that's just where I do know. And that's the information I can give you tonight. But we'll take it up. I think we'll taking it up. So
Brendan, it looked like you were getting ready to say something.
I was gonna say, yeah, there was a committee in place. I believe the holdup on moving forward with that was we were unable to secure the commitment from the state for the funding for the construction funding for that. So I do believe the next move on that is to reapply for the state construction funding, which should cover approximately, the 79 point whatever percent of the roof that they do for renovations.
So will school planning and design put that on your agenda to move forward? And,
Yeah, we'll
sort
put
of
that up there.
keep
And
this from languishing.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not making any accusations and I know
No,
there was a lot of concern over.
it was put on hold intentionally with discussion in the committee while we were trying to move forward the consolidation, but
Right.
it's time to move forward.
Right. Since the town taxpayers and voters turned down the referendum to build a new consolidated elementary school, we are now moving forward with what we need to do in our existing elementary schools. I say despite a fair amount of criticism from people in the town, but it's an uphill battle to get money for capital improvements. So I hope we can move forward in trying to get this money from the state. That would make a huge difference.
I was able to look into the dates. We're behind now. We would have to have everything in place for next June. So we wouldn't be looking for a roof till 2028 by the time we could move through the whole process. We could get the money from this, not this June coming up, but the following June. If we start now. So.
Mary?
Well, I do know from the history of other districts that occasionally things can get fast tracked. So let's, think about that.
Good point. So any further discussion on this? It is an action item under the action items at the agenda, on the agenda. Okay, seeing none, we're going to move on to action items. We have 2 this evening. I would entertain a motion to approve settlement of a pending lawsuit case, number 324, and then CV 01635 VDO.
So moved.
Motion made by Katina,
Second.
seconded by Brendan. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion on the floor, please indicate by raising your hand. Abstain, motion, are you any votes against the motion? 1. I think that's everybody. Okay, thank you very much. I would entertain a motion to approve a bid waiver of 21,400 for Eagle Rivet Roofing for repair and replacing of roof membrane flashing and counter flashing and sealing of roof penetrations at North Windham School. Motion made by Gary. So I guess seconded by Brendan. Any further discussion? Thank you, Mr. Howard, for your explanation this evening. All those in favor of the motion on the floor, please indicate by raising your hand. It's unanimous. Thank you, everybody. Now we're on to public comment. Is there anybody who would like to speak during public comment? Okay, I would entertain a motion to adjourn at 7:22.
I move, we move down the hall.
Okay. Meeting adjourned.